Good afternoon, this is the Eagletail Mountain Wilderness area, and that would be Eagletail Mountain. And I'm going to break here to talk a little more anime.
The cockpit.
The Cockpit was a set of 3 OVAs, each based on the stories from Leiji Matsumoto's Battlefield manga. They're all combat stories set in World War II, and each is brought to video by a different but well-known anime director and screenwriter. The first OVA has been titled Slipstream in English. It's set in 1943 Germany. Erhard von Reinders is an ace German Fokker pilot whose reputation has recently been tarred with cowardice after a recent dogfight. His commander gives Reinders a chance at redemption and a hot new Fokker. The assignment is to escort a very special cargo plane to Peenemünde, where the Nazis have developed the V-1 and V-2 rockets. It turns out the cargo's creator is traveling along with it, along with his pretty daughter, who turns out to be a woman, an ex-flame of Reinders who dumped him for another man some times back. But she knows what the secret cargo is.
爆弾じゃない。しかし、これはまさか核弾頭。
そう、世界初の。
This short story offers an interesting premise for American audiences, positing Germany had developed the atomic bomb first. It transplants the debate about the morality of its use in war from Truman's war room to a Luftwaffe airfield, giving it the unique perspectives of its Japanese authors. It mixes in Matsumoto's own philosophy of personal honor. This OVA is directed by Yoshiaki Kawajiri, who also wrote the screenplay from the manga. Kawajiri is better known for other Madhouse productions of the same period in the supernatural fantasy genre, such as Ninja Scroll, Demon City Shinjuku, and Wicked City. Here he shows he can bring it down to reality too. This is a really nice war story with some nice aerial combat animation and an interesting theme. Philosophically, it may be uncomfortable for Americans. At a mere 25 minutes to tell the story, only one character, Reinders, gets any development. Everyone else is pretty much just a foil for his inner conflicts. The second story has the English title Sonic Boom Squadron, and it's set among the Japanese Air Force during World War II. It's about a suicide pilot for the Oka, or Cherry Blossom. It was a manned bomb, sort of like a cruise missile or a German V-1 rocket with a pilot on board. Unlike a Zero's kamikaze, the Oka was built specifically as a manned bomb to carry a lot of explosives very fast to a target with a short-range rocket engine. Because of the short range and speed, it had to be released from a bomber near the target. Lieutenant Nagami is signed on as an Oka pilot, a one-way mission to be sure. But during that mission, the bomber that's carrying him and his Oka are shot down, and ironically, he's the survivor. He returns to base, absolutely determined to get another shot at the enemy target. This story looks at Lieutenant Nagami's sense of duty and honor, and the effect that has on the fellow soldiers and crewmen around him. But to help expand on the theme of the insanity of warfare, a part of the story will also take place on the American aircraft carrier that Nogami is targeting. To make things a little more personal, one of the Americans is an aspiring comic book artist. This segment is written and directed by Takashi Imanishi, who had recently directed the Gundam 0083 OVA series for Sunrise. He's done a great job of leaving the sci-fi behind to concentrate on the human beings in a very ugly, very real war. The art designs are both noticeably different from the first segment, yet still retain the distinctive Matsumoto's character appearances. The third and final OVA has been titled Night of the Iron Dragon in English. It's set on the ground in the Philippines during World War II. Godai is a motorcycle courier carrying orders to retreat to the Japanese airbase on the far side of the island. He drives into a Japanese artillery site that's just been clobbered by American artillery. The Japanese mechanic, with nothing else to do but drink sake at the moment, fixes up the battered motorcycle for Godai and joins him for the rest of the trip in the sidecar. As they travel across the island, they'll have a chance to get to know each other as they dodge enemy patrols and strafings. This is the only one of the 3 stories that gives us any real sense of camaraderie among soldiers, the others being focused more on individuals. It's also the only one that has any sense of humor to it. In the end, I found it the least satisfying because I really didn't understand Godai and his unnamed mechanic partner. These guys keep pressing forward long after they know that they no longer have a purpose to their mission. It seems almost as if they want to be killed. This third segment was written and directed by Ryosuke Takahashi, who's well known for the Votum series, as well as more recent works such as Gasaraki and Flag. He's a stickler for mechanical designs, but this story only gives him a motorcycle to work with. Most of us in North America think of Matsumoto in terms of Star Blazers or Captain Harlock, fanciful science fiction stories that throw hard science to the wind in favor of grand imagery and giant heroes. However, Matsumoto was also a collector of World War II memorabilia, and when he tells stories of the past in World War II in his manga, he picks at the details, whether it's a foca or an oka or a motorcycle. Each of the directors here has done his homework, anchoring Matsumoto's characters in a realistic World War setting. Each of these stories meditates on the classic Matsumoto themes of personal honor, courage, and manhood. They're all about personal heroism, with a realistic backdrop of bullets and foxholes instead of star clusters this time. It's a smaller, more intense and individual examination of courage. Each of the respected segment directors have placed their unique stamp on the art designs while still retaining the basic Matsumoto character look. The mechanical designs are well researched. I think I'm no expert on World War II weaponry. The animation on all three OVAs is from Madhouse, and the animation is consistently excellent no matter which of the three OVAs you watch. Back in the era of hand-drawn animation, this was absolutely superb. 1993 was the peak of the OVA market, and some studios were cranking out a lot of cheap crap to see what would sell at the time. This wasn't one of them. The cockpit really doesn't show its age in the artwork. I give the cockpit overall 4 stars. These are classic war stories exploring honor and courage, told with style and beautiful artwork. Despite the hardware, these tales focus on their characters and have an unusual moral ambiguity to them. In truth, I kept changing my mind which of the 3 stories was my favorite. Each OVA is about 25 minutes long, plus each came with a 5-minute interview with the director of the segment with the story. They were originally released separately on Japanese Laserdisc, but were collected in a single DVD by Urban Vision for U.S. release. That's now out of print. Thanks for listening.